Dweller. Created in 1967, the Rolex Sea Dweller expands upon the capabilities of the Submariner with an increased depth rating, a date display, and the addition of a helium gas escape valve, which enables it to be used for saturation diving. As you would expect from Rolex's most capable professional dive watch, all Rolex Sea Dweller models feature superior water resistance, highly luminous displays, and rotating bezels for tracking elapsed time. It's important to note that while all Rolex Sea Dweller watches have rotating bezels and date displays, the way that you operate these features has slightly changed over the years. For example, if you have a vintage Sea Dweller reference 1665, then the rotating bezel will turn bidirectionally rather than only counterclockwise like subsequent models. Additionally, since these vintage Sea Dweller watches predate the arrival of quickset movements, you will not be able to adjust the date display on a reference 1665 without rotating the hands around the dial past midnight. The Rolex Sea Dweller's helium escape valve is automatically operated, which means that should you find yourself in a situation that requires its use, the valve will perform its intended function and let the trapped helium exit your watch without ever requiring any manual action. Therefore, operating your Rolex Sea Dweller works very similar to any other dive watch that has a date display and will follow the same standard setting instructions. To set your Rolex Sea Dweller, simply unscrew the winding crown and pull it out to the first notch. In this position, you'll be setting the date display, which is located at 3 o'clock on the dial. Rotate the crown to change the number that's displayed until the correct value appears inside the date window. Again, if you have a vintage Sea Dweller, then you won't be able to adjust the date independently from the time, so you will have to advance the hands past midnight in order to change the value displayed by the date window. To set the time on your Sea Dweller, pull the winding crown out to the second notch until you feel a faint click and the seconds hand comes to a complete stop. Then, rotate the crown in either direction until the correct time is displayed by the hands. During this stage, it's important to take note of whether your watch is displaying AM or PM hours, as the date display will only change every second time that the hour hand passes the 12 o'clock marker. If while setting the time, the date display advances past the desired value, repeat the previous step to correct the date. Once the time and date have been set, push in the winding crown and screw it back down to the case to ensure that your watch stays protected against moisture and dirt. Should you wish to use your Sea Dweller's rotating bezel to measure elapsed time, simply turn it until the inverted triangle is aligned with the current position of the minute hand. With the exception of the vintage reference 1665, the Sea Dweller's bezel will only rotate counterclockwise, which is a safety feature for scuba divers that prevents the accidental underestimation of immersion times. You can then read the amount of time that's passed by referencing the minute hand's position against the 60-minute scale on your watch's bezel. Designed for those who live deep below the surface of the ocean, the Sea Dweller is Rolex's most capable professional dive watch, and it represents the frontier of what is possible with underwater timekeeping. For more information on the